Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Great League, showcasing another very powerful team featuring Shadow Charizard. I've been really wanting to try this thing out. I want to see what all the fuss is about, and I gotta say, I was impressed. This thing is quite squishy, but my goodness, can it output the damage, especially in the Great League. And also on this team, we've got Noctowl on the safe swap. Noctowl is here to draw out any potential lanterns that may be lurking in the back on the opponent's team. That is the one Pokemon that I'm really concerned about with Charizard, excluding Basti, of course. Basti absolutely laughs at Shadow Charizard, so we want to draw out Lanturn, maybe even a Basti, so that our Lanturn can come back in, take out that hard counter to Charizard, allowing Charizard to absolutely lay waste to the remainder of the opponent's team, preferably with a shield advantage. I gotta say, guys, there are few scarier Pokemon to see than a Shadow Charizard staring at you from across the field. And speaking of, we had one on the lead. You don't often see it on the lead. They make a play into a Medicham. And we are going to align our Noctowl onto this Medicham, as with the bulk, it can put in the work, of course. It is a very close matchup, provided they are running the ideal moveset, that being Ice Punch Psychic, and they are. So they are actually able to defend themselves up against us and gonna force a shield, because we 100% want our Lanturn on their Shadow Charizard. And we just go for the farm down after shielding the second Ice Punch, leaving the matchup with loaded energy down to shield, but I do have a feeling we'll get that shield right back, especially if they come back in with the Shadow Charizard, of course. Right on cue, they do. Gonna fire off this Sky Attack here. Charizard does tank one. It's not fun. As I mentioned, it is quite squishy. It gets it into the deep red, but if they can let this go, that would be amazing. We would have taken a shield advantage as well. So this is pretty smooth sailing. Oh, they've got a Chestnut in the back. This is lights out, unfortunately. Yeah, that's a rough one for our opponent's team, unfortunately, but good game, well played to them. A lot of double fighter lines are running rampant, my friends, in response to all of the double steals that we've been seeing lately, which makes this team that much better. But here we go. Shadow Hitmonchan, very interesting pick. You don't see these too often, and they're staying in on this Noctowl here. I don't recommend doing that. They did build up to a close combat. That would, gosh, that would come awfully close to one-shotting from that health range. It's a Shadow at the end of the day, so that's a good shield, shielding up the close combat. And they've got a Shadow Drapion in the back on their team. So they do tank our Sky Attack. They can tank one for sure. And this could be a Sludge Bomb. But guys, we got to save a shield and maybe even grab one back from them. And we do live a Sludge Bomb from a Shadow, as we can see there. Going to fire off the Sky Attack here. Grabbing that shield back. So shields are now even and they can farm us down. So that's fine. Gonna bring Lanturn in here to absorb this damage. That's why we've got these two with Charizard, guys. They are basically the damage sponges unless you absolutely have to shield. But ideally, you want to be saving your shields for Charizard. Charizard up a shield beats just about everything in this entire meta, not named Bastiodon. And we do take out that Shadow Drapion, and they've got one of their own. My goodness. So just gonna go for the Dragon Claw here. We are ahead on energy, and we grab that final shield. That is beautiful. We'll take that. We'll take that. Charizard did the job. It grabbed that shield. That's all we needed. And my goodness, that Dragon Claw did a boatload of damage. Holy smokes! I'm telling you guys, the damage output on Shadow Charizard is no joke. Gonna call this, it's just the Dragon Claw bait. They had to bait that final shield. Not falling for that whatsoever. And now we just shield once and farm down and leave this with a move for that Hitmonchan, which is relatively low. I'm thinking a Thunderbolt should get the job done. Yeah, looking at that health range, this Thunderbolt should be sealing the deal. We get to this, and we're saying bye-bye to the Shadow Hitmonchan. And Lanturn has come in clutch for us, closing the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played. All of the moving parts to this ABB-style team with Charizard working to perfection. And here we go. Alola Ninetales, if it's Powder Snow, it's a lot better for us, but it is Charm, but we can still do just fine here, guys. The fact that it is not a Shadow means that we'll do just fine going straight Surf, but we will build up to the Thunderbolt at the very least, and that is optimal timing as well. Just throwing on 7, that happens to be Thunderbolt energy as well, and we are pressuring shields from this Ninetales here. They did shield the first one out of caution, but they are likely not wanting to give up that final shield, and we are just abandoning the baiting tactic, and we are just now throwing on proper timing because it is within Surf range. They have not thrown a move. Holy smokes. They got a little too comfortable here, and we are going to be saying bye-bye to the A9. They go down with energy. That is absolutely wild. You can't sleep on the power of Lanturn, I'm telling you, and they've got a Medi, so going to bring Charizard in. Oh, and they've got a Basti. Things have gotten a lot more interesting here now. Holy smokes. Basti is the kryptonite to Shadow Charizard in this meta. So we're going to try our best. We got the shields, and I know Noctowl up shields up against Basti can put in work. It's still not fun for Noctowl, but this is now our best answer to a Bastiodon, which is quite scary. We do have to shield these stone edges and put in work with these shadow balls, and I cannot express how important it is to be throwing with proper timing, because if you do that and you have a good PvP optimized Noctowl, you will be able to make it to 3 shadow balls no problem up against Basti. That is why throwing with proper timing is absolutely crucial, especially in this matchup. I was thinking it's now or never. Not letting them get any more farm than necessary. We're throwing Charizard in here. We get to this, and we are saying bye-bye to the Basti. Holy smokes. And now it's a race to the Blast Burn. They have to farm down. It's not happening. Shadow Charizard's got something to say about that. We get to this Blast Burn and we're saying bye-bye to the Medi. Holy smokes! If that doesn't sell you on Shadow Charizard, I don't know what will. Good game, well played to them. And Charizard, so scary in its shadow form, especially in the Great League. It is absolutely wild. But here we go. Toxicroak lead, we make a play in a Noctowl, and we draw out a Dedenne. So, excellent answer to our Noctowl. We're just going to go for this Resisted Sky Attack, as Dedenne is not known for its bulk. I'm thinking Resisted Sky Attack plus Shadow Ball should get the job done here. Gonna let this discharge go and hope to either pressure a shield or just about KO this Dedenne with a Shadow Ball here. But the lag strikes, denying us. That is unfortunate. That was very frustrating. Gonna let this go. We can just bring in our Lanturn to finish off this Dedenne here. We want to preserve shields for Charizard. That is crucial, guys. If you're gonna run Shadow Charizard in the Great League, you wanna set it up to have a shield advantage if at all possible. So we do let that discharge go, hits us for neutral damage, and we are going to look to fire off the Surf after building up to back-to-back because we want to pressure a shield. That's the key, guys. I cannot stress that enough. So we're going to go for this Surf here and see if we can set our Charizard up with a shield advantage here. And they are not going for it. That's okay. That does plenty of damage. And they've got a Mew in the back. Holy smokes. What an unconventional team. My goodness. Gonna fire off this Dragon Claw. I'm sure they know it's just a Dragon Claw, but that's all we really need, and that will allow us to stick with, to hang in there in terms of pacing with this Mew here. I'm sure their play is to build up to back-to-back Surf, so we will have to go down on 2 shields, but I think it's well worth it. Loaded energy on a Shadow Charizard is quite valuable. And they do go for the back-to-back Surfs. And we have nearly 3 Dragon Claws here. What an interesting team. I think people are just resigned to just running fun stuff at this point, as the Open Great League, gotta admit, is getting a little bit stale, but that is all beside the point. Going for Dragon Claw number 2, grabbing the second shield, and we will outpace to the 3rd Dragon Claw, which will be more than enough to seal the deal. We are saying bye-bye to the Toxicroak, and Charizard doing its job on this team, closing the game strong. That's going to be a good game, well played. Charizard on this ABB style team was quite impressive, I must say. But here we go. Sableye lead. So right now in the Great League, if you see a Sableye lead, you can almost bet the house that there are 2 steel types in the back. One for sure being a Registeel. Classically, the second steel type is a Galarian Stunfisk, but I have been seeing Basti in the back as of late. And there's the Registeel right on cue, and we are misplaying this, my friends. If this happens, you have to be, if you see Sableye, you have to be expecting a Registeel safe swap. And if you do see that, you want to immediately meet it with your Charizard because you do outpace. And you will win that in all even shield scenarios. So we are not playing this correctly, so what we're going to do is shield up this Zap Cannon because I'm reading that there is a Basti in the back. That's been the most common second steel type in the back. And a lot of them who play this team are very, very slick and very crafty. I must tip my hat to the player or trainers that play this team, because they will save that Basti. They will watch that switch clock and swap out to draw something back out and hang on to that Basti. And we understand that. So there's the Basti right on cue. We are down a shield, but the Registeel is gone. And we see the Basti here. So the goal is to align our Lanturn, of course, onto the Basti and have our Noctowl on that Sableye. We are just trying to burn the clock just as fast as we can, but I don't think it's going to help. That switch clock always seems to take twice as long when you need it to come up. Go figure. So now I'm reading their play is to hit us with a Stone Edge and then combo play with the Sableye because the Sableye does have a move stored. We can see this from a mile away. We are absolutely ready for the combo play. So we are going to hit our Noctowl, but the game did not bring in the Noctowl. Oh my goodness, that cost us the game, my friends. Holy smokes. Run it back if you missed it. We totally were anticipating that. We hit Noctowl to catch that move, and the game said no. So now what would have been an easy victory, an easy path to victory, is now a loss because the game said no. That is extremely frustrating. And we're trying to recover here, but there is no recovering from this, unfortunately. We should just be top lefting. I was so tilted after this one. You have no idea. It's even more annoying when you know what's coming your way, but you do what you need to do, but outside factors just prevent you from doing that. I don't know what we're doing here. It is over. It is not going to happen. Perhaps if we were closer to a Surf, maybe. Yeah, that would have maybe made it easier for us, but yeah, good game, well played to them. Guys, you have no idea. I was begging for another team just like that one, and here we are, another Sableye lead. So we are 100% reading that there is a Reggie in the back, and we are gamed and ready. I was fuming after that last one. You have no idea. We just throw these Surfs because that's more than enough. You only need a couple of Surfs to dispatch a Sableye. They usually go right for the big return because it does a lot of damage coming from a Sableye, and we let that go because we know Charizard up a shield again beats everything in the meta not named Bastiodon. They're shielding, so that's very interesting. Gonna go for another Surf here and see if we can either win lead here or take out the Sableye. Knowing that we have a shield advantage, we're good. That's fine. Yeah, okay. We've got two shields. That's fine. Just going to align Noctowl onto this Sableye here. And let's see if the two shield Sableye strat works out for our opponent. They go for the return. We're not shielding that. Charizard up a shield lays waste to the entire Great League when we know that. And they come in with a Registeel, so we're going to pivot into our Charizard, and they've got a Noctowl in the back. So this is fine, and they know that. They immediately top left. It is insane, the power of Shadow Charizard. Good game, well played to our opponent. Two shield Charizard OP, holy smokes. And this one is up against a member of my Discord, Spiral Static. Shouts to you, brother. And he's running Lanturn on the lead here, so we are in the mirror. I know that mine is a rank 1, so I know that there's a good chance that I'm not going to be winning too many CMP ties in the mirror. So I always just go for the extra. And we are going to fire off a Thunderbolt of our own here, not expecting a shield as Lanturn comfortably tanks a neutral Thunderbolt, no problem. And we are rank 1, so we do tank 2 of these no problem. And we did trigger the CMP tie just in case my old pal Spiral wanted to try for a cheeky catch. Not going to let that happen, so we always play to the CMP tie on the second one to ensure that this either grabs a shield or goes through. And Spiral snipes us with a Sableye, so at this point, I'm reading that this is King's team that he ran not too long ago with a Lanturn, Sableye, and a Trevenant. If our team read is accurate, we are looking pretty darn good here. So we just have this Noctowl on the Sableye. We all know how this story goes. Unfortunately, as much as I love Sableye, it does not go well for Sableye. But Sableye does put in the work. I'm speaking from experience. It's really not too bad if it's played correctly. We are now drawing shields from Spiral Static here, and I'm just going to let all this go. I'm reading there's a Trev in the back, and what is the mantra of this video, guys? Charizard up a shield lays waste to everything not named Basti. So that is what we are rolling with. And we're just going to farm down this Sableye. That Lanturn's hanging on by a thread. And I'm expecting a Trevenant in the back, and there it is, right on cue. Unfortunately, this is lights out. Try for a catch. Fair play, but it is not going to happen for Trevenant. And Spiral realizes that as he does top left. Good game, well played to you, brother. Thank you for the battle. Oh, had a lot of fun with this team. My goodness, and here we go. Metacham lead, very neutral lead. We've got 2 excellent answers to this in the back. So I usually like to get off a Thunderbolt to chip this and catch the Psychic onto Noctowl. But the key is to get that Thunderbolt damage in, because if they shield that and you still end up catching the Psychic, it can get a little dicey, because then you're coming in at a health disadvantage. So we let them throw this. They're just over farming, not wanting to get caught on, and I that's fine. I understand that. Good on them for that. So we do make the play into Noctowl eventually, and we draw out a Toxapex. Charizard doesn't necessarily like to see this either, because Toxapex is quite tanky. It's about as tanky as it gets in the Great League. So this is absolutely fine. Our Lanturn is still very healthy. I'm thinking 2 Sky Attacks plus a Shadow Ball should hopefully get this done if we hope to flip switch here, but we're not overly concerned with flipping switch. We really just want to keep this shield, and we will. Not going to shield anything from this, and they can kind of farm us down at this point. The Shadow Ball just doesn't KO. Man, that must be a really good PvP optimized Toxapex, because I think if it weren't, that should have just about KO'd, but that's fine. And they go Brine, holy smokes. That just tickles our Lanturn, and they go down to a Spark, and we will go for this Thunderbolt here. Hopefully they let it go, and that is beautiful. So now we're just going to let them dump their energy here and bring in Charizard to perhaps sweep this game for us. Hoping like heck that they don't have a Basti in the back. That would be bad news for us, but they don't. They've got a Charmer in the back, and this is looking pretty darn good here. They have to call a bait. A lot of Charizard trainers love to bait, but guys, we're not baiting, and we're one shot in the A9. And we are wing attacking down the Medi. Holy smokes. What a way to end the video. Holy smokes. Shadow Charizard. My goodness. That thing is scary. The damage output on it is absolutely off the charts. Good game, well played to our opponent. And yeah, that is the team. My goodness. What? Well, man, that thing is impressive, I gotta say. I was wondering, I just wanted to see what all the fuss was about. I see now, and I know now, my goodness. Shadow Charizard, no joke. And I wanted to pair it with some bulky Pokemon. I thought, the best core in the meta, that being Noctowl and Lanturn, just made perfect sense to pair along with Charizard. Lanturn, one of the best generalists in the entire meta, has solid neutral play all across the board against everything that doesn't happen to be a grass type. And you pair that with 2 strong flyers. Noctowl is the bulk and is here to draw out the steel or water type, being Lanturn, so that Charizard has a clear path to absolutely lay waste to the remainder of the opponent's team. That's the dynamics of this team, and we saw evidence that worked out beautifully. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.